Hey everybody, welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. And if this is your first time on my channel, a warm welcome from me. I share spirit's messages, so I am a channeler and I mainly channel spirit guides. I started my journey by reading the tarot cards, and about a year into reading the cards, I began receiving messages from spirit. First, it came as clairvoyance, so seeing images in my mind's eye. But soon after that, I started to develop other abilities, including clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, almost all of the clairs, not all of them, but almost all of them. And I love working with spirit. And so today what I do is I run a 6-month coaching program for women who are looking to figure out who they truly are and how to manifest their dream lives. And I teach the principles of energy to help people actually create the abundance that they want to see in their external reality. And a lot of you do know me from before, but just to tell you a little bit more about my past, I was in a very intense corporate job for a lot of my life. I was in the corporate field for about 7 years, working in human resources. Took it really seriously. You know, my parents are in that field, and so I just thought that it was expected of me to do that too, and that was the path that I followed for the first half of my life. However, I had this other side to me that was a lot deeper and a lot more interested in consciousness, spirituality, psychic development, channeling, and I was really focused on honing those gifts for a long time as well. And it was just something that I kind of hid like in the closet, so to speak. But in 2020, when COVID happened, I really dove into the tarot. I began learning all of the tarot card meanings, and I got really good at giving readings. And the way that most people know me on YouTube is from my tarot readings. I got really popular because at that time, everybody was inside, everyone was watching TV or, looking on YouTube, and it correlated with a time when pick a card readings was very, very popular too. And so I did mainly readings around relationships, but also how to step more deeply into your purpose. And I loved it. And I really enjoyed doing tarot readings for a really long time until spirit quite literally came in to inform me that I no longer needed the cards and that I, in their view, did not need to use the cards anymore. And so while I still have so much love and appreciation for the cards because they completely changed my life and they changed my understanding of myself, I also no longer need them or use them. I totally think that they're fun, but where I am now is I feel like I don't actually resonate with the tarot cards as much as I used to, and there's a couple of reasons why. And I am coming on today to address this because a lot of my audience obviously is curious, like, why don't I do tarot readings anymore? And kind of like, where did I go and what happened to me? And it's a really long story. So if you are curious to stay around, then I will tell you everything that happened to me. But yeah, if you don't feel called to stick around, that's cool too. Just find another video. You can always check out some other readings that I've posted over the years. So just to give you some context as to my journey, I was always super spiritual, but everything had been totally love and light until around 2020 when I started doing my tarot readings. And I found it so enjoyable to share my readings and to do this huge YouTube channel. And really, for me, that was my freedom because I was working my corporate job and that felt dull and bland to me. So every single weekend, I was super, super excited to film my YouTube video, edit it, post it, get everybody's reactions, and just connect with my community. And what was really beautiful is I was able to build my business through doing that. And my business is not just a business, like it is a purpose for me, it is a mission. And so to help other people connect to spirit was truly one of the greatest gifts of my life and still continues to be to this day. Now, at that time, I still hadn't gone really deep into my healing, although I had done a lot of coaching and leadership development and self-reflection. I hadn't actually gone deep into the layers of myself that I have at this point. And I decided to completely change my life. I went from living in Washington, D.C. to moving to San Diego. I hired a coach, and it was the first time that I started to really uncover like true spirituality and really go deeper into the energy that I had been holding my whole life without knowing it. And what showed up for me was like a lot of inner child work that I had to do, a lot of insecurities that I was totally unaware of, all connected to confidence, to sharing my voice, and to stepping into my gifts. And basically, the person that I was at that time was very much like a shell of who I am now, because now I just fully embrace who I am and my gifts. But back then, I was really scared that people would perceive me to be like not professional, actually. And that was something that I lived with as a fear, to the point that I had this huge YouTube channel, but I was hiding it from all of my colleagues at work. And lo and behold, they would always find it, and they would find my readings, and they'd be like, oh my God, Gabriella, I had no idea that you're so good at readings. But it wasn't something that I talked about. And so, you know, for a few years there, it really did feel like I was living a double life. One where I was in the corporate world and I had a mask on and I was just super eloquent. The other one where I felt free and I felt like I was sharing my real gifts. So I have a lot to thank for my YouTube community and for tarot readings. In any case, I started really diving into my healing, and about a year after doing that, I left my 7-year relationship, which was a huge deal because I had moved with him to San Diego, and it was really scary. You know, he was the person that I just kind of assumed I would be partnered with and would eventually marry one day. But I realized like things weren't in alignment. So I left that relationship and I moved out from living with him. And I moved in to live with this beautiful woman who was about 60 years old, so a little bit older than me. And I remember like sitting on the floor the first night that I was unpacking my boxes, and I was just like bursting into tears, and I was thinking like, what am I doing? Like my whole life is literally exploding. That same week that I moved in to live with my old roommate, I also left my old job and started a new job. And I did that corporate job, another one, for like a year. But at that time, I knew that that job was kind of just like a block that was going to hold me while I built my true mission, my true purpose, and, you know, my business that I'm in today. So that was beautiful. And lo and behold, a couple months later, I met my twin flame. And that is when my true healing begun. So I thought I was doing healing before. I shed a lot. I made some really bold and brave decisions. But once I met my twin flame, honestly, my entire life like crashed and burned. And it was because I was unhealed at that time and I didn't know it. And it was a really hard journey for me. I loved my twin flame from pretty much the first date and the moment I met him, and I could feel that he had that love for me too. But what I perceived as him pulling away from me was really just an invitation to go a lot deeper into my healing. And when I say a lot deeper, I mean like 100 layers deeper, because it was a lot of healing that I had to do. And I noticed that, you know, despite living with like so much grief and pain during that time, I also was becoming stronger in myself, and my gifts of connecting to spirit, being able to channel, journey, you know, really work in the higher realms and the quantum realms were growing so much. And so I kept doing it, and I kept just praying to God every night. I would be like, God, I don't know why I'm in this situation. I don't know what is going to happen at the end of all of this, but I just pray that this is part of my story for a reason, because if it's not, then, you know, that's like too much for me to bear. But God and spirit always really pulled through for me. And one of the things that was so beautiful on my journey was I would ask for signs, and I would always receive the signs that I asked for. And I now have felt comfortable enough to start writing about it and sharing my poetry and my writing around this topic. So you can learn more about my twin flame journey in my new book. It's called Raw Me, Real Me, and it's on Amazon. But yeah, it was a wild journey, and I kept continually seeing these signs that kept showing me that my twin flame and I would come back into union one day. We were separated for about 2.5 years, and during that time, let me tell you, I went to rock bottom, like serious rock bottom. And so hence pulling away from my YouTube channel, not doing all of these pick a card readings, not using the tarot at all after a while. You know, I almost like overused it for some time, and then I just realized like I didn't really need it after a while, and it was because I had solidified my connection with spirit, or God, however you like to call it. Yeah, you know, it was a really hard time. I had a lot of people on Instagram, my old account, pretending to be me, which energetically did not feel good. Somebody had put a hex on me. That didn't feel good either. I was separated from my twin flame. I was a mess. I was depressed. I was crying a lot. I was going through a lot of pain. But like I said, I just kept anchoring back to this fact that I knew that God or spirit wouldn't put me through that situation if it wasn't for something greater. And I truly believe that I was, you know, forced to deal with my healing so that it could become part of my story, and so I could help other people who are dealing with similar things. So I went through all of that, and I really did pull back from YouTube and social media generally. Although I kept posting, I was feeling a lot of energy coming towards me, and also like perceived pressure. So it was interesting because my YouTube was actually feeding into this perfectionistic narrative I had for myself of like, I have to post every week. Like I have this huge audience, like I have to keep it up. And very honestly, you guys, like I just had to let everything fall away. Everything. I let my YouTube go. I let my old Instagram go that had like 35K. I let go of my corporate career. I eventually just said, okay, spirit, like anything that needs to be burned away from my life that is not truth has got to go. And I started like really managing my energy a lot differently and just doing things from a place of joy and a place of self-love. And self-love was really what I needed at the time, because I was carrying so much heaviness and so much pain, some from this lifetime, some from former lifetimes. And so, you know, honestly, like keeping up with a huge YouTube channel at that time was just going to be a big distraction from the work that I needed to do. And it was painful because honestly, it felt like a lot of deaths. Like not only did I have to suffer with this narrative of like, what are my parents going to think of me if I quit my corporate job? But I also had to let go of the dream that I had created. You know, like back in the day in 2020, when I would look at people's YouTube videos and I was like, nice, I'm going to become a digital creator. Like I had to let go of that too. So in my poetry book, and what I've been writing about is just, you know, the path of spirit like requires you to let everything go and to show that your true commitment is really to spirit and spirit alone. It's not the audience, it's not the following, it's not how famous you're gonna get or how much money you're gonna get. Like none of that really matters. It's all about your healing and all about your connection to God and spirit. And so I prioritize that, and that is why I haven't been posting pick a cards. The good news is that because I prioritize myself so much and so radically, I was able to heal so much, and I was able to speak about myself in a way that I hadn't previously. Like, as you can see, I'm sharing everything super vulnerably. I used to be really timid about that. Now I'm just kind of like, well, it's probably going to help somebody, so I might as well share it. And I really started pursuing my passion and my dreams and the things that give me life. So that included my coaching, my channeling, my writing. I created a new Instagram account. It has like 1,000 followers. You can follow me though if you want to. It's just at Spirituality Gabriella. And I started leading events in person, doing channeled readings, and really coming to life again and prioritizing my artwork and the things that were really healing for me. And what was so beautiful is that my twin flame came back into my life, and that to me was just like the greatest sign that I had done the healing that was required. And of course, there's always more healing to do, but basically the last like 4 years of my life have been like a spiritual boot camp, and I really just had to prioritize self-love and prioritize me. And so now, after such a long time of not consistently posting on YouTube, I'm feeling like it's a fresh slate and it's a new year and it's time to share what Spirit wants to share. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna post those pick a card readings anymore just because like that's just not how I work anymore. I simply work through channeling, and my channel is so clear now. It's super exact. I can channel Spirit in 1 second. They're with us all the time. All of the dimensions are merging into one and collapsing. And so we're living in this very beautiful time on Earth, which is also very chaotic, but it's so beautiful because I'm really seeing people committing to the path of Spirit now, and I'm seeing people committing to the path of unconditional love in a way that I never saw it before. And it honestly makes me emotional, like thinking back to who I was back in 2020 when I was just a timid young person who wanted to share my gifts and was super afraid in doing that, and was super afraid about being vulnerable and putting myself out there. And the outside world with COVID was just so wild and chaotic and crazy. And I feel like there are some energetic patterns that are still repeating and happening now. But the beautiful thing is that I see so many more people choosing this path of conscious awareness and love. And I think that's what it's all about. So if you want to be on a path of love, true love for the planet, for yourself, for those in your life, for your relationships, then hang around and stay with me, because I'm going to keep posting videos and I'm going to keep showing up and sharing Spirit's messages. And if you would like to connect with me more, definitely do so on Instagram at spiritualitygabriella. I also have a podcast called the Starseed Collective. That is where I channel Spirit. And I also have my books. You can just look up my name on Amazon, Gabriella Alziari. And I just want to say, you know, people change and people develop and grow, and I'm really proud of myself for all of the work that I've done over the last few years. And I'm sure that you've been doing work too, and so I'm really proud of you as well. I just feel like you wouldn't even be here if you hadn't been doing the same level of work that I've been doing. And I feel like together we are actually changing the world and making the world a more beautiful place. So thank you for being here. And if you are interested in exploring coaching and understanding the tools of manifestation and the art and science that is available to you to really create your dream reality without all of the hustle and the pain and the guilt and the shame that I had to work through, then I would love to work with you. And you can check out my website link down below. It's just my last name, alziari.co. As I said, I have my 6-month group coaching program. So come join us. We start in April, really, really soon. All right, lots of love, you guys. I hope you have a great day.